Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me today, it is Broad Street Hockey's own Kelly Hinkle. And Kelly, I know it's Thursday, but I'm just feeling some real F Around Friday vibes today. We're going to get to like forward grades, and we're going to work off of Charlie's grades from the article he put out earlier this week. If you're not a diehard, go to allphly.com right now. Sign up, take advantage of our $36 sale, and read all of the hockey content, all of the draft content, all of the awesome stuff we have up there across all Philly sports and all of that. But yeah, I'm getting some real F Around Friday vibes. I don't know about you. Dad's not here.
Okay, listen, Dad's not here. Also, like,
I like how he's younger than both of us, and that's how we refer to him.
Time's fake, so any day can be Friday if you believe that it's Friday.
Yeah, tomorrow we are, it's going to be me and Kelly again tomorrow, and we're doing a mailbag. I already tweeted it out. I meant it to go out halfway through today's show at 4:30, but I scheduled it last night, watching some playoff hockey, having a few beers, scheduled it for 3:30. So it's already up. Respond on Twitter or hit us up on Blue Sky. Ask us some fun, cool questions. We don't want to work.
I was just going to say, if I swear to God, if there's 25,
who should be the center?
If the Flyers win the lottery and they end up picking second overall, who should they be drafted? Like, please, for the love of God, ask us something interesting.
I realize, we love how into this team you are. Like, I've turned it into my career. Obviously. I'm able to do this, and I'm very, very thankful. And I love those questions and talking hockey with everyone every day. Let's talk about Kevin Smith movies or something. Literally anything tomorrow. Do not care.
Yeah.
So
don't ask us what line we would put Alex Bump on.
Yeah, the first. It's him.
Every single line. I'd play him 45 minutes a night.
He's the 1C now. Congratulations, Alex Bump.
I'm obsessed with him.
Before we get going, just got to remind all of you, hit the freaking like button. Do it. I can't see the likes since we're remote today, but I have to believe it's not nearly enough yet. And we need 200 by the end of the show just to show Charlie he's not the MVP. It's right. Me and Hinkle. House cleaning, as always. This Monday, April the 28th, the show moves to 12 noon Eastern for the off season. It's going to be a lot of fun. Monday to Friday, noon to 1:15, because, we go over every show all summer. It's going to be a great time. Hope you can join us. Kelly's going to be with us once or twice a week. Noon. Starts Monday. And speaking of Mondays, Monday, May 5th, we think, I guess.
No, that is the day. That's the day.
There's been no announcement. There was that one tweet last week.
Oh.
I haven't, it's not like on the NHL's official website, because why would they tell their fans when the draft lottery is? It only impacts.
We might be the only ones making a big deal about it.
It only impacts half the teams in the league. Anyway, Monday, May 5th at the PHLY studios, Die Hard only draft lottery party. It's going to be food and beverages and fun times with friends. We're going to have a live reaction show you can sit in on. It's going to be a great time. Go to allphly.com right now. If you're a diehard, get your tickets. And if you're not, well, sign up to be a diehard. We're running that sale. All right. Because it's the most important part of every show, I want to get to it off the bat once again. It is our daily Tankathon spin, the most important thing as we look at how things are playing out for the Flyers. They have the fourth best lottery odds, and the other first-round picks, they're looking promising right now. Hinkle, Colorado and Edmonton picks. The Avs are down 2-1. The Oilers are down 2-0 in their first-round series. And if you look at how things could shake out, maybe those are in the early 20s. But let's get to that first-round pick. The fourth best lottery odds, again, Monday, May 5th, we think, is the lottery. We're having the party, but let's simulate it and see where the Flyers end up today on the old Tankathon. Andrew, spin that wheel. All right, let's see where they end up. They jumped to 2.
No!
They jumped to 2. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait a minute. This means Brenna is cursed.
Maybe it's Brenna.
It's Brenna. Brenna can't come to the party.
Brenna helping out with all of our draft coverage over on the Eagles side of things today. So we have Andrew filling in, doing an excellent job already, getting us the second pick. So congrats, Andrew. Maybe it is you. Maybe it's the spinner. Maybe we need someone there who's lucky, someone at the NHL studios. But I do want to talk about the playoffs for a second. Most notably, those two series that right now are going the Flyers' way. Avs down 2-1 to Dallas. Dallas doesn't have, Heiskanen. They don't have Robertson. And the Oilers, they just are leaking goals. They're down 2-0 to the Kings, the team that they have beat. The team that they have beat 3 years in a row. And in quicker fashion each year, this year, they have to dig themselves out of a hole. If those teams go out in the first round, looking at how I think this first round is kind of shaping up, I think we could be picking like back-to-back at 22-23 is how it could end up going. On top of the Kings and Stars, we should also be rooting for Carolina and Minnesota. Obviously, this is a pro-Carolina Hurricanes show. We are fans of the Canes. Shane Gostisbehere is there. Dr. T is there. Rod Brendamore is there. What's not to like, But with Carolina, if they advance and if Minnesota beats Vegas, that would kind of put teams that are in that 2-3 range that could take those spots from the Oilers and Avs. That would move them up into the mid to high 20s. And that's good for us. The Battle of Florida kind of cancels itself out. So we like the Kings, we like the Stars, we like the Canes, and it kills me, but we like the Wild as well.
It's just it's wild, to me that I thought Vegas was going to roll them, honestly.
Yeah, you just look at the two teams and go, well, one is considerably better than the other. But when Kirill Kaprizov is throwing, the best outlet passes this side of Erik Karlsson in 2017, like, they're tougher. That makes them a real hard out. And, Marek was talking on his show the other day, like, for whatever reason, Vegas and Minnesota just play good games. Like, even though you would think, I don't know if they really match up, they just play good games. It's a stylistic match. Styles make fights, and those two teams seem to have it pretty locked up. But we will see how that all works out. We are hoping for picks in the low 20s, I believe, from those second two first-round picks. Nice. And I just had to take a look at the order because the second round is all set. That's just based on standings, no lottery or anything. Second-round picks are looking good too, Hinkle. The Flyers' own is the 36th overall, the fourth in the second round. The Ducks pick from the Cutter trade, 40th overall, 8th. The Jackets pick, 45th. That's 13th of the second round. And then the Flames. Look at that. The Flames pick from the Frost Farabee trade, 48th overall, 16th. So 4 picks in the top half of the second round. Again, pretty good. I don't think there's a person alive who expects them to make 7 top 48 picks. Like, that's insane.
Would be weird if they did.
Like, that's just a lot of like ice time.
Yeah.
Where are these? Who's going to keep track of all these dudes? But it is nice to see, like, these are going to end up being fairly valuable picks. I realize people think of the draft what they think of the draft. I don't take any of that seriously. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. All you have to do is look at 2017. No one saw this coming. The Avs were terrible and were pissed that they fell in the lottery, and then they got, the 21st century Bobby Orr. So, like,
right.
And the other two guys, not too bad. And even Nico Hischier, really freaking good. He's going to win a Selke one day. He's the captain of his team. It just, didn't quite work out for us. And that's the lesson I always take from when someone says the draft is good or bad, deep or not, who the hell knows. It's shaping up. But Kelly, you know what else is shaping up? That 2024 draft looks all right. I want to talk about the Phantoms for a second. They go up 1-0 on Wilkes-Barre Scranton in their best of 3 qualifying first round Atlantic Series, whatever you want to call it. They win 5-2 on the road last night to take the 1-0 lead. Jet Luchenko in his 9 regular season AHL games after he came over from Guelph, 3 assists, and he's, Maddie wrote an article that he's working through it. He's figuring it out. He is very, very young for the AHL. If his season wasn't over, he wouldn't be eligible to play in that league. He turned 18, 9 months ago or whatever it was. 2 primary assists last night. And Alex Bump, man. The diamond in the rough. Yo. Our hope. 2 goals, and now in 3 total AHL games, 2 regular season and 1 playoff, 3 goals, 2 assists.
I'm referring to him as our Pavel Datsyuk, who famously taken in the 6th round. So if we could just find one of these guys, because as much as you look at, I just think Tampa is that gold standard because they, were contenders for a while. They eventually win. They are still contenders, even though they're aging. They've lost some guys. And having Stamkos, obviously. Hedman, obviously. Andrei Vasilevsky. But finding Kucherov in point late. And I'm not saying Alex Bump is going to be, like a trophy contender in his career. But finding those diamonds in the rough is so huge. Guys outside of the 1st round. To have a 5th round pick who might be a top 9, top 6 forward one day. Yeah.
I just want to dream on it for a second, Hinkle. It's so exciting.
And not only that, but also I feel like it's been a while. Since the Flyers have had a player that everybody else hates. And Bump's got a little something to him. He's out here on his 3rd professional game calling the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins defense soft.
No, I wanted to get to this. So I saw Tony, I don't know if it's Androkaitis or Androkaitis because I've only ever seen it written, but you all know him. He's the AHL reporter. Tony at Tony Androcco on Twitter. He tweeted it earlier today, I think. Bulletin board material. Alex Bump began and ended his media availability after game 1, taking shots at the Wilkes-Barre defenseman. He said their D didn't want to play the hard game. Pause. And like I said, they don't like to defend. Soft defenders, in my opinion. I wish we had a Blue Chew Reed to go here.
I love him.
I love that this kid is so freaking cocky. We've heard that he has a real chip on his shoulder about being drafted so late. He thought he should have been drafted much, much earlier. And people have pointed out he kind of said the exact same thing, at an intermission interview in the national championship against BU. He's got this in him. I like this kid's swagger. He backs it up. He's scoring goals. Has a national championship under his belt this year. Yep. Chose to go to the AHL, sign an ATO, have his ELC not start until next year because he thought it would be good for him to go through a Calder Cup playoff run. And he's the engine driving that team now.
It's pretty cool. And also I somehow follow one diehard Baby Pens fan on Blue Sky. Some dude that I've known forever. He used to write for Pennsburg back in the SB Nation days. Oh. He was really going through it last night, just how the Phantoms are just taking over and they're gonna sweep them in this playing series and this is a disaster and blah blah blah. And I'm maybe the fans are gonna do something this year. I don't know. But
it sounds like they're bigger defensemen like Hunter McDonald, Ethan Sampson. All those guys were physical last night. I think McDonald was +3, even though he doesn't register a point. He's out there doing the thing we want him to do, be that big physical presence. His game's coming along. And Emil Andre, who had a little bit of a disappointing call up after he came back, for the final time this season. He just didn't really stand out a ton to me. Didn't think he made all the plays we saw him making earlier in the season. And long year, he got banged up along the way. He kept getting shuttled back and forth, all that. I understand. 2 assists last night, though. I realize AHL production doesn't always translate, but if this is the step that these guys are on, they're in the AHL, they're producing. I mean, that's much more promising than not, It's hard not to be excited seeing all the guys that are contributing. Bump, Luchenko, Andre, this thing rests on them as much as it does, obviously Matvei Michkov is everything, and whoever they get at the top of the draft this year, big part of it. But they need these depth guys. They need these other prospects to work out. And so far, so good, at least in terms of the Calder Cup playoffs.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if people have settled down a little bit after, like, with Luchenko looking real good. And, like, granted, it's a difference between AHL and NHL. I understand. But Zeev has not been blowing anyone out of the water. Like, I think he's been fine. I saw someone, I think it might have been Thomas, compare his game to, like, Emil Andre in the sense that, like, he was fine. He was, like, competing in the NHL. Like, he didn't look completely out of place, but, like, he wasn't blowing anybody away. And I think that a lot of people that were freaking out about that Luchenko pick over Buyum were, like, expecting him to step onto the ice and beat Cale Makar. And, like, it's kind of nice that he's not. Like, obviously 3 to 5 years, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows how good he's going to be? He'll probably be pretty good. But, like, he's clearly not, like, an insane game changer, I think, like people were expecting him to be. Like, I do think there's a reason why a whole bunch of other teams passed on him before the Flyers took Luchenko.
No, and that was kind of my fear, was seeing Zeev do what Cale Makar did in the 2019 playoffs. Like, he played in the playoffs before he ever played a regular season game. He came in for Colorado, is immediately playing over 17 minutes a game, has a goal and 5 assists in 10 playoff games, and you're like, okay, this guy's awesome. And then, of course, the following year comes out, he wins the Calder, 9th in Norris voting. Like, he was amazing right away, basically. Mm-hmm. And that was a big fear of mine, both in terms of just narrative, like, I don't want to deal with this, and also just in looking at Danny Briere and going, all right, bud, let's see if this Luchenko pick pays off, because it looks like a miss. I'm not saying it was the right pick. Again, I have no freaking idea. I'm not a prospects expert, but I'm just personally relieved Zeev didn't come in and dominate right away. And we're seeing Luchenko kind of figure it out again, in the AHL, but it's coming along, and that's encouraging as well.
Yes, agreed. I'm very excited already for a training camp. It's April.
Begged for the season to end for weeks, and now I'm like, all right, let's see what this team's got. Let's see this all. Let's see these moves. Let's see all these guys on the ice together, and baby steps. It's April 24th. The lottery is still a couple weeks away, and we'll go from there. But I am definitely excited to see next year's version of the team, especially like halfway point, maybe when we start to see more call-ups and stuff. Who makes it out of camp, and then into December, January, who gets elevated from the AHL. Feels like there's options. It feels like it's not going to be the same stagnant team that we got used to. It's going to be different, and that's just exciting.
Agreed. Very exciting.
All right, before we get to all the player grades and everything today, got to take a quick second to tell you about a couple of our sponsors. Leading it off with TrueMark Financial Credit Union, because, folks, April is Financial Literacy Month, and I've got something that's going to help you on and off the field. It's teaching your kids how to handle their money. If you're a TrueMark Financial member like I am, you've got a fantastic opportunity to help your kids and teens learn to earn, save, and spend wisely with a free Greenlight account. What is Greenlight? Greenlight isn't just any app. It's a game changer for kids. Whether they're setting savings goals, learning how to track their spending, or even receiving their allowance, it's all right there at their fingertips. And get this, it's pretty cool. Each kid gets their own debit card, that's right, so they can make purchases, learn how to budget, and build real-world money skills while you stay in control from your phone. So you as the parent gets peace of mind, and your kid, they get the chance to make smart, responsible choices with their money. So if you're looking for a way to teach your kids some financial plays this Financial Literacy Month, I can't recommend this enough. It's like training for life's biggest game. Head over to TrueMark.com/Greenlight to get all the details and sign up today. Don't miss the chance to set your kids up for financial success. I certainly could have used that when I was a kid, and even into my mid-30s. All right, and now it's everyone's favorite read, 1-800-588-2300 Empire.
today.
Okay. I never know if you're muted when you're remote, but you got it, and I am happy. I've been telling you about Empire for months now, and it's all about the experts at Empire, and it's all about the in-home experience. You don't have to go to a big box store, look around yourself, try to even see if you can find someone to help you, and then you're just, okay, this might look good with my furniture. I'm not sure. Well, I measured it. It was like, it's pretty close. No, what Empire does is they come right to your house and show you the flooring and everything you will see in your in-home estimate. You can see it. They'll give you precise measurements, precise price and estimate, the quotes right there. You can see it all up against your furniture, the colors in your room, everything at your fingertips. That's what makes Empire the best. So schedule a free in-home estimate today, because some things are just better at home. PHLY listeners, that's right, you listening right now, you can receive a $350 discount when using promo code PHLY. You heard that right. A $350 discount with code PHLY. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/PHLY for details. All right, Hinkle. So we're going to grade the forwards, I guess, unless we get some real interesting comments, and we'll just riff on those. So someone asked how many hats. It's there's like 30 on this wall, and then some more. I have like 50 hats probably in the rotation. That's just like I have some retired ones over here as well, but this is the in rotation hats right behind me. It's about 30 or so. All right. So yesterday we graded Matvei Michkov kind of alone, standalone, because as I've said all year, he's the main character. And quite honestly, if we put his name in the title and description of the show, we get way more hits. So today we're doing the rest of the forwards. But before we get to the forward group, I do want to look back at Michkov, because we were just talking about how cool Alex Bump is. Well, I just saw this on Twitter today. It was Michkov doing an interview in Russian, but there's captions. I'm sorry if you're listening podcast version, because you're just going to hear people speaking Russian and be like, what the hell? We're a YouTube show, though. So join us over here on the YouTube channel if you want to actually see it and read the captions, but we'll talk about it. Andrew, can you play this real quick? Because it was just really cool. Matvei Michkov, I don't care if he ever learns English, but it does seem as if his personality is that of someone we would really enjoy if we could understand him. Play that for us, Andrew.
Но я очень хотел при Тартарелле забить лакросс. Когда он ушел, я ему все написал там, Джон, спасибо большое, ты мой первый тренер, я тебя никогда не забуду, ты был всегда со мной честен, спасибо тебе за это. Он такой, ой, я не ожидал от тебя получить сообщение, очень приятно, я получил миллионы сообщений, но у тебя самое приятное. Я говорю, блин, жаль, что тебя уволили. Так про тебя лакросса не забил.
Он заржал?
Он не пишет. Он посмеялся. Он посмеялся, все впереди.
And I just really loved this little clip. Now, again, if you're listening audio only, you're like, what the hell? I don't speak Russian. He's saying, Matvei Michkov is just talking about his relationship with John Tortorella, and he wishes so badly he could have scored a Michigan in front of him just to see his reaction. And when John got fired, he sent him a message and said, I'll always appreciate you. You were you're my first coach. You really pushed me. A lot of respect. Thank you. You're always honest. And I wish I could have scored a lacrosse goal in front of you. And John was just like, wasn't expecting a message from you. Really appreciate it. This was the nicest one out of the tons of messages I got when I lost my job. It's all ahead for you, kid. And I think that speaks to what we kind of talked about with Mish yesterday. While we were mad at Tortorella for him, and we're the fans, we're his advocates. That's our right. We don't have to be normal.
No.
It seems as if there was that mutual respect between the two, because if nothing else, they are both crazy competitive, and I like that he wanted to kind of throw John doesn't want me to do this, and that's why I want to do it in front of him. And he's not going to get that chance now, but there is still that respect there. And also a little swagger too, and mix that with Bump. I'm excited about the swagger this team could have one day. It's not the skill and the scoring and all that is fun, but they could be cool. This could be a cool team in a few years.
Yes.
It's been a while.
And it has been a while. It's been a while. It's really nice because it's hard when someone speaks zero English. Like, you can't get a personality through the interpreter. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. Especially what's his face. He seems like a very nice man, but, you know, not a lot of inflection going on there. Like, he's just kind of saying the words. Which,
I actually kind of love it, though, because he speaks in a way that's so, like, Russian machine. Like, I just picture, like, no, Michkov is saying this, like, I am best. I will break you. Like, he's Ivan Drago, just like, that's how I picture it because of the way it's what's it? Kuznetsov is the guy's name. Slava Kuznetsov. But that's his inflection. It's not Michkov's. Michkov is like, he could be joking. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, and it's great to see that he's like actually funny. And it makes me laugh because we've said like several times this season, like, I'm dying to know what he's saying when he's going at guys on the ice, because he obviously knows like so little English, but he really goes at guys sometimes. And like, it seems like he's got like hockey players have zero personality. Most of them are unfrosted shredded wheat. Like, they got nothing. It's beaten out of them in juniors. Like, they're just no spice, whatever. He seems like he's got a little bit of a personality on him. Like, he could be funny. He's definitely got the swagger. And it's just like, I'm trying so hard to temper myself, but like, the potential for fun, like, not even just like a good hockey team, like, that's obviously there too.
That's the goal.
Like, the potential for fun seems very high right now. And it's been like a very long time since we consistently had fun watching the Flyers. So like, yeah, I'm pretty psyched. Like, I like him and Bump just like dunking on dudes and just like saying things to the press that are just like out of pocket. Like, it's gonna be great.
No, absolutely. And like, and you want those guys to back it up. And so far, I mean, you know, Mish, 26 goals, led all rookies, led the team. And Alex Bump is apparently the best player on the Phantoms 3 games into his professional career. So it's working out. But I just love this mix of like the personality that Michkov seems to have, and we'll see more of it. And also this drive to be great. Like, the fact that he appreciated Tortorella, and he said through, again, his interpreter, but like in exit interviews, he had a good relationship with John, didn't agree with everything he tried to teach him, but thinks it'll really help him throughout his career. He wants to be awesome. And if somebody can give him a 1% edge, whether it's the maniac coach that we all think, you know, like drives the players to the point of like wanting to quit and get their real estate licenses or whatever, he is taking some of that and being like, yeah, it wasn't the easiest thing in the world, but being the best player in the league ain't going to be easy. I want to be that. If Torts gives me that edge, 1%, I'm going to soak that up. Mix that with the fun personality. Man, good days are ahead. Maybe it's sunny out and watching playoff hockey, just enjoying the last few days. Having fun with hockey again has brightened my disposition with this team, but I think they're giving us actual reasons to feel good.
Okay. I know this is crazy, but like, Charlie's not here to tell me to settle down.
They're winning the cup next year.
Okay, like when you have someone who's obviously as physically gifted as Michkov is, he's obviously got like a little bit of like the skating, he's not Owen Tippett, you know what I mean? Like, would it be cooler if he was faster? Sure. But like the physical tools, the obvious, like insane robot way that he thinks the game, like 27 steps ahead of everybody else. Couple that with the attitude that like you came out of a rookie season in which you were like jumping up the franchise's historical records. You scored more goals than any other rookie in the league. And you come out of it and you're like, nah, every single thing could have been better. Every single thing.
Hated my results. Very disappointed with my rookie season.
Yeah.
And it's like, buddy, I'm disappointed in like everyone, and I know like Charlie will say we just give him a pass for everything, and he's our special little boy, and we just want to hold him. And yeah, that's absolutely true. We haven't had a guy like this in a long time, and I really don't want to like run him out of town by telling him he doesn't skate fast enough or whatever, you know?
Right.
Oh, you're not blocking enough shots. Like I don't know, man. He had 26 goals, and John Tortorella was his coach. So,
what if he is going to be like a top 5 player in the league? Like, what if he is?
Just
because it doesn't seem out of the realm, right?
When we looked at those Appleyard stats, like up against guys in their draft +1 or draft +2 season yesterday, whether it's, you know, the expected goals for percentage at 5-on-5, the actual just raw points total, all of that, it's like #1 overall picks, surefire Hall of Famers, you know, the same numbers basically as Nathan MacKinnon as a rookie. Like, I'll take that, you know. Yeah. I don't expect him to be the absolute freaking force that Nathan MacKinnon is, just in terms of like take the puck out of the defensive zone, beat 2 defenders because he's better than them and scores at will. And he's one of the 3 best players in the league, but he seems like he has that drive where he thinks he can get there. And Nathan MacKinnon wasn't Nathan MacKinnon as a, like, it took him a little while. You know, there was a reason he was one of the best bargains in hockey until his most recent contract, because he didn't break out yet when he signed that second deal. It was for mid-level money, and Michkov's kind of already on that trajectory with a really encouraging rook. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about the team today, April 24th, and obviously it starts with
write it down.
But yeah, seeing the Phantoms last night and everything, things are just good right now.
It's real nice. And like, I really do hope that, like, I know, listen, I'm never going to tell people how to do their fanning. And I understand, we've said before, like, I understand the negativity over the entire time we've been doing this podcast together. I get it. But I do hope people are starting to see that, like, unlike times before when, like, we had, you know, the germ or whatever, and like that was the guy that we were super psyched about in the prospect pool. Like, I hope people are starting to see
the germ,
that things are getting better, like tangibly better, like inarguably better. And like, you can allow yourself to feel like a little teensy tiny bit of happiness surrounding the Philadelphia Flyers for like maybe the first time since I've ever known you.
And I will openly admit, like, plenty of work to do still. There's so much about this thing that is hypothetical. Like, you know, we just did a lottery spin to start the show. You know, they could pick first, second, 4th, 5th, 6th. I think there's like a tiny little chance they could pick third, like a 0.3, like if in the second drawing someone else moves down, but like, we don't know where they're picking. We don't know what they're going to do with these 7 picks in the top 48. We don't know who they're going to offer sheet, who they're going to trade for, who they're going to sign in free agency, who the goalie's going to be. Is Zvragin ever going to come over? And if he is he going to be the star we think? Yes, a lot of these things are hypothetical, but there appears to be a base. And I wasn't even sure about that a few months ago, you know, but I'm just seeing enough come together that I think I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to see an actual light at the end of the tunnel.
Bump specifically, because that was one of the ones where, like, we knew Charlie kept telling us that the organization was super high on Alex Bump.
Yeah.
But, like, let's not pretend any of us are watching college hockey until the Frozen Four is on our televisions. Like, we don't know. I never watched Alex Bump play a game. I saw some highlights here or there. I had no idea what he was going to be. But his team winning the championship, him being a big part of it, him stepping onto the films, like immediately being an impact player, like all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay, this is obviously something. So like, that's another piece that I didn't really know that we had 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it seemed like, okay, yeah, they're high on him, but he was a 5th round pick. All right, he's doing
high on a lot of dudes.
Yeah, that's how many dudes have we been told?
Hunter McDonald.
Oh, yeah,
we're high on Hunter McDonald.
I am high on Hunter McDonald too for other reasons. I want mean dudes. I want guys who are going to cross-check you in the teeth every now and then. Maybe he is the prince that was promised in Sam Moran. Always a bummer that we never got to see what Sam Moran could be, especially in that pairing with Shane Gostisbehere. Wanted it so bad. All right, let us get to the rest of the forward grades for the day, Hinkle. Of course, Charlie put out his forward report cards a few days ago over on allphly.com. Go over there if you're not a diehard, sign up. $36 for the month. Do it.
For the year.
Oh, yeah, for the year. Yeah, $36 for the month would be insane. $36 for the year. It's a great deal. It ends real soon. Today is draft day, and it's a draft sale, so I can't imagine it's going on much longer. So take advantage. But look, and he put out his defense and goalie grades. We'll talk about that when he's back. But I wanted to do the forwards after we talked, Michkov's grade yesterday. And we're going to lead it off here with TK. Charlie gave Travis Konecny a solid B. TK, 24 goals, 76 points. We know how it went. We know the trajectory. Now, 76, most points he's had in his career, 50-plus assists. Pretty awesome. The guys Flyers who have had 50 or more assists in a season since the lockout, Giroux 5 times, Voracek twice, Forsberg that first year, Gostisbehere once, Mike Richards once. Add TK to that list. Now, we know 20 goals in the first 41 games, 4 in the second half. That's bad. But it's hard for me. I'm going to give him a B-. It's hard for me. Maybe he's more in the C range because you just need him to break that 30-goal mark. That's kind of what he set for himself the last 2 seasons. But he played all 82 games. He set a career high in points. So it's hard for me to dip to C. But I'm going to go a little lower than Charlie and give him a B-. Decent year, but really needed more in the second half.
I think B is fair, and I think that we're giving. I think the B is because of the second half. Like without, if he had continued, obviously he's like a solid A.
Oh, if he scores 40 goals and 95 points, he's an A+. Yeah,
right. So it averages out to a B. Mr. Fluffy in the chat says A+ first half, C second half. Yeah, that averages to a B. It just it's one of those things. It sucks again that we do this all the time. Like if he had a very slow first half and a crazy good second half, our feelings about the season are completely different. It's because he started out hot and then really, really cooled off. Also, I know a lot of people were kind of annoyed about the fact that he kind of admitted that he was pushing himself super hard to make Team Canada and you're supposed to be you're on the Flyers. Why aren't you saving that? And honestly, Travis Konecny's not an idiot. I'm sure that if he thought that this was a playoff team that was going to be making a cup push, I'm not sure he would have completely worn himself down. But also, we haven't been to the Olympics in 100 years, but he wants to make Team Canada. I get it. It's fine. It's less than ideal, but it's fine. It does make me a little bit nervous about the Olympic year because I'm well, what's going to happen to all of our dudes that go to the Olympics? Because are they all going to be wrecked for the second half? Maybe.
Here's the thing. I don't think he's going to make the team.
It seems it's a tough team to make. They have every good
Canada.
player.
It's Canada. Yeah. Yeah, man. If he was the best players, he'd be on there, but he isn't. It's most of the best players in the whole world, and yes. In terms of other guys, I don't think Russia's going, so seems good,
True. Sorry for them.
Bummer for him, but you're young. Hopefully they'll be in. But
not really sure Sam Pearson's gonna crack that team again.
In terms of people being mad about that, I get it. We find things to be mad about, and if this was a playoff team, maybe you take a little bit of an exception to it. But honestly, after we got done dunking on Rocky Thompson yesterday. And even my short, I started it out, ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Bill, I laughed so hard.
I was this is what happens when I'm not scripted, and it's just
it was
talk for 30 seconds. But maybe, TK, I don't think he was trying not to score, but everyone liked being in that 4th spot in the lottery odds. Wouldn't happen if he had 95 points. That's all I'm saying. And
he's a team player.
if Rocky's power play was over 20%, we don't have Matvei Michkov, and we don't have, maybe the 4th pick this year. So maybe we should be thanking these guys for actually coming through for us.
You're never not going to convince me that Dan Couturier didn't say, maybe we don't fire Rocky just yet. We're doing a thing here. Like, let's just let him keep trying. Maybe he'll figure it out. I don't know. It's not so bad if the power play scores negative 50 goals. It's fine.
You get rid of Torts, like you're telling me Angelo Ricci doesn't know how to open the door for the forwards, But no,
he probably could have done it.
But no, they kept him around just to make sure. So thank you, Rocky, and thank you for your second half slump, DK. So you're going to B. Are you? I'm going B minus. Charlie went B. Yeah. You're going to go just solid B. Okay. So that is the grade for team leading scorer Travis Konecny. I do think it's interesting. He played 82 games for only the second time in his career. Now, several years that wasn't an option because they weren't 82 game seasons.
Right.
But I think, we're all looking to the future. We're excited about how bright the future is, but Travis Konecny making a decent chunk of change, long-term contract. How's he going to age? Well, so far so good. He just played 82 games for the first time in a few years. So I think that bodes well. And I think we can kind of say the same thing about our next guy here, team captain Sean Couturier, his first full year as the team's captain, 79 games played. That's his most since 2018-19. Pre-pandemic, pre-back injuries. This is the most he has played in a long, long time. Ends the year with 15 goals, 45 points, played about 17 and a half minutes a game, over 56% in the face-off dot, which is what you need out of him. Charlie gave him a B, and that's where I'm going to. Solid B. Like where the production is. I've said this. I don't expect him to be 15 and 45 when this thing comes around in a year or two, hopefully, because hopefully he's not Michkov and TK center for big chunks of the season. I'm sure he will be at times, and maybe he gets back into that bumper spot on the power play or something, but just being able to go out and do it and play 79 out of 82 and finish the season as strong as he did. His end of the season was better than his beginning of the season. Again, bodes well. And in terms of your expectation, you can't get rid of this guy. His contract really can't be bought out because you save nothing because it's all signing bonuses. He's got a full no move. He's the longest tenured athlete in the city. He was the GM's son, basically, when he was a rookie. He lived with him. He's not going anywhere. Encouraging season for Couturier. Maybe this is grading on a little bit of a curve just because of the expectation, but I think he had a B.
Yes, first of all, sorry. I live on the noisiest street and it's warm out, so everyone's got to have their windows down with the music on. Anyway,
I love it personally. I love the ambient sound.
I honestly even go B+, and it is in fact grading on a curve, but I think that's what you have to do. Like you can't expect every player to perform like the best possible version of a player that plays at their position. Like that's just ridiculous. Like you can't expect Sean Couturier at this point in his career to be peak Sean Couturier. He's just not that anymore. But there was a real worry last season
that he just stunk.
That he was cooked, and he's not. And that's a huge deal. And the fact that like he's pretty much the only guy that can reliably win faceoffs on the team. He's like an outstanding leader, I think. I think that his presence in the room for a lot of these young guys is going to be a very good thing moving forward. And he was effective for what we need him to be. We need him to be a good 3C. That's where he's going to slot in when this team is good.
Jordan Staal. That's what we need.
It's exactly. And it's very clear based on this season that he's capable of doing that. And because of that, I'm good with giving him a B+, just because I think that like he's getting a little bit of extra credit from me for bouncing back in the way that he did.
Being at odds with the coach, I do think we always have to take that into account. Like if the coach had his way, Sean Couturier wouldn't be here. You know, it's a guy I bet he would have liked to move on from, and I bet some of the resentment, at least, maybe he just straight up, it's 100% hockey. You know, he just doesn't like Couturier's game for whatever reason. John Tortorella didn't, and for that reason, didn't think all that much of him and would have preferred to play other guys. Or maybe it's the fact that, yeah, if he had his way, I'd get rid of him, and I can't, and they're telling me I can't, and that makes me even more mad. Like, you know, I do think that maybe plays into it a little bit, but he earned that time back, and he earned the spot in the lineup he was in with TK and Michkov at the end of the year, and they played together some at the start as well. I just need this guy, like you said, man. I need him over 55% in the dot, taking probably more defensive shifts as he moves down on the depth chart, hopefully. Just being that guy, being that two-way player. 15 goals, 45 points, and a good 3C shutdown specialist is all we could have asked for him before he became Claude Giroux center, really. And I know Charlie would take exception with that. Like, oh, it wasn't just G and everything. But I really think this could end up going a lot better than we thought a year ago with Coots.
Absolutely. And I'm very pleased because I honestly think that, like, would it be great if Sean Couturier was still 1C? Sure. But also I do kind of feel like it was never going, like, he was never going to be that guy for the length of this contract. Like, I kind of think in hindsight that was probably a little bit too much to expect out of him. So having him in that third line center spot as a calming presence on the bench, as an example for all of these young guys that we got coming, it's like, it's a very good situation, I think, that we're in. And obviously it would be cool if we were making a little bit less money, but also I don't care. The cap's going up. It doesn't matter.
Hopefully they get better bargains down the road and it all evens out. All right, exactly. Before we go any further, I have to take another quick commercial break. I got to talk to you about our friends at Ashley Furniture and the Ashley Fan Cave Sweepstakes. Now, imagine your fan cave with a bold new centerpiece. That centerpiece, the Mod Max sectional from Ashley. And now, imagine that for free. Well, we've teamed up with Ashley to give one lucky winner the chance to bring home this flexible, ultra comfortable sectional, plus a $1,000 gift card to bring your dream fan cave to life. The Mod Max sectional is spacious and built for the most die-hard sports fans, whether you're hosting movie night, kicking back with the fam, or most importantly, it's game day. This sectional is the upgrade your space needs. Entering this contest, it's real easy. Just head to allphly.com/Ashley to learn about the contest, see if you're eligible, fill out your info, and you're in the running. That's it. You're done. But don't wait. These sweepstakes won't last forever. Get your entry in now, and you could be watching the next big game on a brand new Mod Max sectional, courtesy of Ashley. Mod Max Modular Sectional by Ashley. Your choice of color comes in blue or gray and configuration. It's up to 5 pieces. You must reside within local delivery area to qualify for the Fan Cave giveaway. Again, visit allphly.com/Ashley for the full contest information and eligibility requirements. Terms and conditions apply. And now I got to tell you about our friends at Rothman. Let's talk about getting you back to what you love. If you're a weekend warrior or just trying to keep up with the kids, you know how tough it is when your body doesn't cooperate. Well, that's where Rothman Orthopedics comes in, whether it's pain from playing your favorite sport, it's an old injury from high school, or it's just age catching up to you. Rothman's team of experts is here to help with evidence-based care and a mission to restore your mobility. They'll get you back on your feet and back to doing what you love. Don't let pain hold you back. Visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY to schedule your appointment today and get back to being your best self. Rothman Orthopedics, where getting you back to your game is their mission. All right, let's try to get through a few more of these because, as always, everything takes longer than I think. I've only been doing this for 10 years.
I've been talking too much. It's on me.
Hinkle, never. You've never once talked too much in your whole life. We appreciate and value your commentary. Let's get to Tyson Foerster. Charlie, in his article, gave him a C+, and we saw Tyson's season, 25 goals, 43 points, 5 more goals and 5 more assists than last season. He, of course, had that crazy streak at the end, 9 goals in the final 9 games following Tortorella's firing, which I found interesting because it always seemed like Foerster was kind of one of Torts' guys, going back to not even his first, training camp a year ago where he made the team, but that brief call-up he had in Torts' first season where John was just kind of blown away with him and kind of penciled him in to make the team. And then Torts goes away. He's on fire. And it's interesting. He averaged over 18 minutes a game with Shaw, under 17 a game with Tortorella. Charlie gave him a C+. I was a little softer because, again, maybe this is one of those, well, he's finished strong, so I have a little bit better of an idea in my head. I gave him a B-. What say you?
I'm going to go C. I was on the whole disappointed with Tyson Foerster's season. He is one of the guys that I was hoping would take a big step forward. And until the end of the season, he really didn't do that. And that's kind of annoying to me. I really want him to be something. I want him to be like an impactful player, not just a guy. And this season put a little seedling of fear in my head that he could be just a guy. And I really don't want him to be.
I think the fear is, for me, he is all he is right now. And listen, what he is right now is an effective player. 25 goals, playing on that Cates line. They had some really tough matchups. He still comes away. He's second on the team in goal scoring, sets the career high in points. Obviously it's the second full year, so you would expect that. But did take the leap. But it's a second straight year of a slow start for him. He scored in the opener. It took him 16 games to score his first a year ago. But still, I think he only had 2 or 3 in the first 20 games. And, that holds your numbers back. You see at the end of the year, 25 and 43. What if you'd produced a little? That's something I think we need to look into next year. If he's just this, it's a good player. It's a nice player. Third line with Cates and Brink, cool. Very few complaints. But we need guys to be better than where they were drafted, and that was kind of the idea with Tyson Foerster is, we got him in the second half of the first round, but we think he was a first half of the first round guy. We think we really got something, and decent production. Would just like to see him take another step. Now, Liz, and that said, we're going to get to Owen Tippett next. If Owen Tippett had 5 more goals than he did in his previous season, we're like, oh, hey, yeah, man. And we're way down on him. Tyson Foerster did take a step in terms of production. You'd just like to see a little more consistency.
Yeah, but were 4 of those goals in the last 10 games?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I was just so hopeful that we would see. And maybe this is on me. Maybe I shouldn't have expected jumps from so many guys. But I was just a little bit disappointed. I wanted him to be better overall than he was this season. So I'm going to stick with C.
All right.
Did I say C?
Yeah, you said, I think C is fair. Charlie said C+. I said B-. So we're all right in the same range, basically.
Yeah.
Owen Tippett. I honestly, Charlie gave him a D, and I agreed. And I was thinking about even going lower, D- or something after that exit interview. I know,
it made you so mad.
I know it's the dumbest thing in the world for me to be upset
it's really
about.
Not.
I try never to judge players on what they say because, who cares? You just go out and play. But that was the problem. His game wasn't good, and then his exit interview was it was fine. No, it wasn't, dude. It really, really wasn't. We needed you to be better, and you were worse. And we talked about the shooting numbers. So Owen Tippett, 20 goals, 43 points in 77 games. Previous 2 years, averaged 27.5 goals, 51 points. So he's way down from his averages. And we talked about the shots a year ago. 289 shots on goal on 544 attempts. This year, 188 shots on goal on 424 attempts. 101 fewer shots on goal and 120 fewer attempts.
That's a lot.
You got to be a volume shooter, man. That's all there is to it. You weren't assertive enough this year. I'm going to stick with D, I guess, because, like, what am I going to give him an F? You know, he scored 20 goals. All right.
I'm going D- because he's
okay.
No one pissed me off this season the way that Owen Tippett did.
That is absolutely fair.
One thing I am willing to say, after the conversation that we had with Charlie about this the other day, the idea that Rocky Thompson's like ineffectiveness as a coach, I'm willing to put a pin in my overall hatred for Owen Tippett and see if maybe a different coach might be able to get more out of him. Because like Charlie said, it's odd that he didn't know that he had like essentially
fewer shots on goal,
200 fewer shots at the net, essentially. Like that's a lot. And he probably should have known that over the course of the season and probably should have been told several times, hey, buddy, you need to shoot more. And clearly he wasn't, unless he was just lying in his exit interview. But that seems like a silly thing to assume.
No, I will say maybe there's something to coaching. And like we've even heard Tortorella mention like, oh, you know, he needs to hit the net a little more. And maybe that's in his head. So he's just going to take fewer shots. But so maybe we can blame a little bit on the coaching because he's a emotional fan who says things that we say, and it's not always like the best advice maybe, but he's mad because we could have had 3 scoring opportunities and they all hit the glass and that frustrated him. So he yelled at him about it. Like, I'm willing to maybe accept that, but still, man, like, go play your game. Yeah. Michkov had almost I think he had 199 shots on goal as a rookie. Do that.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Maybe like his line mates weren't the best for him. You said it a million times. There's only one puck. So like maybe the amount of times he was playing with Michkov, maybe that wasn't ideal. I am not 100% out on him. That said, that Tippett for Rossi idea is stuck in my head. Bill Guerin's got to love Owen Tippett. He's big. He shoots a lot. Fast. Like that's Bill Guerin would be drooling over an Owen Tippett style player. And he hates Marco Rossi. So like in my mind, if I'm playing Chell with the homies, I can make that trade 100 times because it makes perfect sense to me. 1 for 1, Tippett for Rossi. I would, at this point, use him as a trade. Like there would be no hesitation. I feel like maybe at the end of last season, I might have had a little bit of hesitation. Like, oh, I don't know. He might be something. Now, like if someone called up and was asking for Owen Tippett in a trade for a good NHL center, I would probably make that trade 100 times. So like that's kind of where I am with him.
He has absolutely moved up my list of guys that I wouldn't hate to see go in the right move. And, you know, talk about the differences in jumps and like points in their career. Owen Tippett isn't like a developing player anymore. Now he has things he can get better at and he can just play better overall, put some different skills to work. But he turned 26 in February. Like this is the prime of his career.
Yeah. This is
and in his age 25, 26 season, he had a major freaking disappointment. All right. Before we wrap up, I got to tell you to head to allphly.com now for more of the show because we're going to overtime. Before we get to the super chats, I think we have like 5 or 6. Is there anyone else you're like real interested in grading here? We can get to it another day. We can talk to Charlie about it when he gets back on Monday, whatever it might be.
I've decided that Rasmus Ristolainen is getting an F for me because why is he made of glass? Why is like the big tough guy that we absolutely have to have because of the bigness and the toughness? Why is he hurt every year? Why did he get surgery now and not when he went out 2 months ago? Like all of these questions I have about Rasmus Ristolainen right now, none of them really related to the play on the ice, but he's getting an F from me because I've decided I'm tired of his nonsense. Stop getting hurt, bro.
We will do defense and goalie grades next week. Right. Can't imagine the goalies will take a ton of time to grade.
No.
Can't imagine that what's is more than a 5-minute conversation.
Yeah, because like if Ersson gets an F, like what's Kolosov get? Like what's less than F? 0.
Yeah, like, buddy, you never came to class once. It's the email I would get at the end of the semester. Like, are you really still enrolled? Like, you didn't just drop the class? Yeah, I'm just not coming. All right, let's hit those super chats. Andrew, show us the first of the super chats here from our pal Gary B. Says, okay, Bill and Kelly, how do I resolve the Battle of Canada? I'm wearing a Lawton t-shirt jersey and a Flyers G jersey. I don't know who to root for as a team.
It's easy.
The Maple Leafs, because they're not the Senators.
No. Well, okay. Well, Bill's biased against the Senators. Right now, I think it's very clear you got to root for the Sens because you don't want this series to be over in 4.
That's true.
Crazy. So now we're rooting for the Sens. Maybe they can tie it up at home. They're doing their best out there.
Listen,
they're doing their best.
It's funny because they're up against, the playoff choking Leafs, but as much as we've, made fun of their playoff history, really going back to like 2004, they are the experienced team, and Ottawa just getting a little taste of like, oh, this is what it's like. Not a ton of dudes. We were talking about Giroux and how he kind of singled out Lawton, and maybe that was, there's no friends in the playoffs. Gabe Landeskog said that about Mikko Rantanen the other day. Regardless of jersey, he's one of my best friends in the world. And then on one of his first shifts, he goes and hammers Mikko Rantanen last night in his comeback. So that's just the way it is. But maybe also it's a little message to the boys, like, friends? Nah, you gotta want to kill or be killed out here, basically, in the playoffs. And I think it's just there's a reason young teams never win. That Chicago team, a real anomaly. And some of those dudes were like older than you realize because they were drafted during the lockout and everything. Like Duncan Keith spent 2 full years in the AHL. But young teams don't win. It's just not a thing that really happens. Hard. And I think that's what Ottawa's going through right now. All right, let's see this next one here from DPhil9. DPhil9 has been one of the more regular super chatters to come along recently. We always have a few, but DPhil's been around. Bill, how often do you get chirped for wearing 99? Be honest, this is a safe space. Happy Thursday, y'all. Need a little bump next year. I'm trying to come up. Someone said last night, bump is the key. And I liked that. He's the key to the rebuild. Just a little bump.
I get it.
Yeah. I tweeted when he scored last night from the PHLY Flyers account, bump, bump, bump. And then I realized that is a reference to a Diddy song. I was like, I don't think we're supposed to do this anymore.
Welp.
I don't know who does any song. It's just a beat in my head. And then I looked it up.
You can separate the artist from the artist.
No,
it's fine.
If we're gonna get into the music industry, like
he did some bangers.
It would all go away.
Be serious.
Yeah. But how often? Well, I wore it in high school in order to draw the ire of people. Like I was a kind of a puck carrying defenseman, but then kind of just turned into a stay at home shot blocking guy. And I wore the 99 to get chirped, to get people mad. Because if you're worrying about me, you weren't worried about like the good players, But once I went to men's league, I would turn that inside out or wear a blank jersey because you ain't out in men's league wearing 99, bro. I don't care if you're actually Wayne Gretzky, you can't wear 99 in men's league. But yeah, I did it on purpose. First day I showed up to Clearview in middle school, they're like, okay, when we choose numbers, no one's allowed to touch 99. It's like, well, guess what you just told me to do, buddy. That's pretty much how it went. Like the question, though. Okay, from Prince Punk, I just want my Flyers players to be absolute problems, and I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Yes.
This swag, this
a little Brad Marchand.
Need. I dig it. I dig what some of the swagger, some of the toughness that these guys have, that just, IDGAF attitude of Bump and Mish. It's exciting. As much as their like actual scoring is, I like this pairing of personality and skill right now.
Me too.
Okay. From it's DA. DA Flyers, man. 2026 Cup or Bust, Bill Matz. I'm telling Charlie.
Thank you, counselor.
From every season on, it's Cup or Bust. What happens if they bust? Well, you just go to the next year. So but once they decide it's time to turn the page, Cup or Bust, baby. If they go out and get a goalie and a center this offseason, let's go. I don't care if young teams don't win. We've got playoff Risto and Sanheim and TK veterans to lead the way.
Go.
All right. And from Keegan 6839, you guys rock. This show makes every day better.
Thanks,
y'all
bud.
rock. Yeah, y'all rock. You make my day better with comments like these, people reaching out, telling us, what they mean to us and everything. It really means a lot. That like April 24th, Flyer season's been over a week now, and we got people paying to put comments on our show. Like that's insane, and we greatly appreciate it. I tell you every day, but I'm gonna keep telling you because it continues to blow my mind. All right, do we have any more? I think that is all of them, and that means that is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers today. Make sure you hit that like button. I can't see the number, so I'm gonna say it just ain't enough. Let's get it up. Let's juice that like button. We will. Hard to play.
Computer's doing that thing.
Oh, that's crazy.
Weird.
Do that. Hit that thumbs up and follow us right here on the YouTube page. Like and subscribe. Do the whole thing. Make sure you set that reminder bell because, like I said, tomorrow is our last 4 p.m. show of the summer. We go to 12 noon Eastern on Monday, so make sure you join us. Follow us here on YouTube. Follow us on social media at PHLY_Flyers on Twitter, PHLY Flyers on Blue Sky, and follow the podcast as well. There are still podcast listeners. It's funny because I don't watch any YouTube shows. I only listen to audio only. And then I wonder, is anyone even still listening to our podcast? And I'm that person who listens to the podcast. But whatever, PHLY Flyers, wherever you get your podcasts. That's it. I am Bill Matz. That is Kelly Hinkle. Until tomorrow, let's go Phantoms.
We all silly like the mayor.